Am I the asshole for being mad at my father because he put me into debt? I'm a 30 female, my father and I were never very close. I love him and he loves me, but he was never the close type of dad, so I accepted him as he is and appreciated the small amount of time he dedicated to me. He always had his financial issues. He was always a hard-working man, never drank, never broke the law, never did anything out of the ordinary, but his luck in life was simply miserable. He worked as a salesman agent all his life, jumping from company to company because back in the day, they kept going bankrupt, and some of them closed from one day to the other. As he told me, it was like jumping from one sinking ship to another sinking ship. He was always kind with his clients, but his bosses were assholes, refusing to pay him many times, and they were constantly promising him money for the sales he made, but he rarely got paid as he deserved. Even while I was a child, my dad had many loans at like 4 banks at the same time. He even asked his own mother to take a loan for him, so he can renovate his house and manage his finances. I hated seeing that. I hated even the idea of being in debt. When I was 12, I promised myself that I will never take a loan from no bank, even if I had to live under a bridge. At his last workplace, his boss, who was another fkin fraud, he just seemed to attract people like this, told him to go independent, so the boss didn't have to pay huge amounts of taxes after my dad, and my dad had to pay his own taxes. I don't know much details, this is just what I understood. He didn't explain it very well. So because this asshole boss refused to pay him normally, he was constantly behind with his taxes, and after a few years, he got a letter that he has a huge amount to pay to the government, and if he doesn't pay up, he would lose his house. I'm not living with him. The point is, when he got this letter, the first person who came to his mind was me. He asked me to take out a loan from the bank, so he can pay his taxes normally, and he promised to pay the monthly fee, saying I didn't have to worry about it. I hated that moment. I was severely disappointed in him for even thinking of putting his own daughter in debt, but on the other hand, I was pitying him, and I had the feeling that if I say no, if I don't help him, I will be seen as heartless. So I went and got the loan. He kept his word for a year or so, paying off the loan as he promised, but then, life decided to play a cruel prank on us, because after a year, he suffered a stroke. He became unable to work, which meant I got stuck with a huge monthly fee to pay, for money I never seen a penny of. Of course, I was happy that he survived, but I can't help but feel bitter about what he did. Then, 1 more year later, he suffered another stroke, which made his state a bit worse, but luckily he was saved again by the doctors. And so, this is how I must live my life for the next few years. I'm struggling with my finances because of this. I can't buy myself anything, because I always have to make sure the loan is paid off, and I just can't help but be mad about it. The questions are always there in my head, like wasn't there another way? Couldn't he ask one of his friends, or something? Why did he have to come to me? He knew I never wanted to be in debt, yet he still asked me to take one out. How are you able to do such a thing to your daughter? I could never place my kids in such a situation. I feel disappointed and bitter, but I still love and pity him, and I'm helping him with everything he needs. So yeah, am I the asshole?